Yo, what up, fam? My name is Wilser. Welcome to the Crank Hustle channel, where I'll talk about all things food delivery on two wheels. In this video, I'm going to tell you guys all the things they don't want you to know about buying and owning a scooter, the dark side of it. It's kind of why I came here underground and make it a little Gotham-ish feel. Anyway, I'm gonna tell you, I made a video about all the reasons why you should buy a scooter. I'll list the video on the screen here or in the end if you guys want to check that out. But I'm gonna tell you guys all the reasons why you should not. And this is like if you're thinking about getting a scooter and you're weighing all the pros and cons, these are the cons. And consider these because there is a downside to having one of these. And after riding, I don't know, 40,000 miles in the past 3 years, I'm gonna tell you the dark side. Anyway, enough of me talking. Let's get into the video. All right, number one, we're gonna start right off the bat. The most obvious, I think. These scooters, unlike a car, don't really provide much protection. You know, like a car, you got your airbags, you got your seat belts, you got the whole car, which is like basically you're inside like an aluminum can. You got a crumble zone, and with a scooter, you ain't got none of that. You got handlebars and a seat. That's it. You get in a car crash, everything's gonna start flying all over the place. You're gonna be over here. Your leg's gonna be back there. It's not very safe. It's gonna be very dangerous. You're gonna get in situations where you're gonna be like, whoa, your whole life flashes right before you. But that is one of the downsides to having one of these. You're not gonna have the same type of protections on it. So keep that in mind. You have to understand these risks. Because if you get in an accident, you're gonna get injured. You know, it's not like you get into a fender bender or you even flip your car. You usually walk out of those with these brand new cars. They're super safe. In a scooter, you get in one accident, there's gonna be 100% injury. So keep that in mind. All right, number two, you're exposed to the weather. Unlike a car, starts raining, you roll up your windows, you got your windshield wiper. If it gets cold, you throw your heater on. If it's cold, if it gets hot, you put your AC on. When you have a scooter, you're exposed to all the elements. The snow, the rain, the tornadoes, the thunderstorms, the earthquakes, the forest fires. Okay, maybe not all those, but you get what I'm saying. You're exposed to all the elements. You're not really protected. So you got to keep that in mind. Keep in mind of how the area is where you live. What the weather is like. Is it seasonal? You only get like 3 months of summertime. I know there's places of the world where the sun doesn't even come out. It only comes out for a few months out of the year. So, I mean, depending on your area, you got to really consider the weather. All right, number three. So, number three is you got limited speed and power. So, with these small scooters, you know, most of them, you really could only ride on the street. Like my Honda Ruckus that I had for 3 years, that thing does 35 miles an hour on a good day. Most of the time, it would just go slow. So, you got to stick to the streets. You can't really jump on the highways. Also, you know, if you're trying to like accelerate and get out of places, you're gonna need like a bigger scooter. Like the Ruckus, that thing was slow. So keep that in mind. You don't want to be riding your small scooters in highways where cars are going really fast, just zipping right by you. You have to get something where you're riding with traffic at least fast enough to ride with traffic. You don't want cars passing you by because someone's not gonna be paying attention and you're gonna ride slow. Everyone's going around and then some car's just gonna run right into you. Boom. Not very safe. So they're slow. Keep that in mind. You could get some fast scooters. They have some big boys. Just to think about how your city is. Do you live around slow streets, fast streets, a lot of highways, and then just kind of make a decision on what kind of scooter to get. But yeah, they're small. They're tiny. They're oh yeah, here's another thing. They're very. I think this is my next one though. Just save this for the next one. Oh yeah, number four. Unlike me, I have a big ass backpack for my food deliveries. But without this, most scooters don't really have much space to put stuff. Now cars, we have trunks, we have the back seat, we have the passenger seat. We can just throw all our junk there. Scooter, you're very limited. You're limited on the things you can carry. So, you know, it's not like you can just, you know, go buy a chair or furniture and then just throw that in the back. There's no space. You ain't got space for that. Also very inconvenient if you buy a lot of groceries, luggage, like work items. Maybe you got a job and you want to take this to work. Consider all the things you have to carry. So yeah, limited cargo space. That's one of them. All right. So with small scooters, by the way, this is number 5. So with scooters, they tend to come with small wheels, and small wheels tend to give you it's less stable on the road. So, you know, you hit little bumps, you hit cracks, like those wheels are gonna react to it, thus making it kind of a little bit unsafe. So you have to keep that in mind. And with a small vehicle, if there's like a gust of wind and you have a very light scooter, like these are all like, usually scooters are like 200, 300 pounds. The wind's gonna push you around. Unlike a car, sometimes if you have a big vehicle, you feel the wind pushing you around, right? Barely, but you feel a little bit. With a scooter, like that thing can push you to the other lane. And that could be very dangerous. When I was coming back from the desert, we went up to these mountains, and that thing, I don't know how fast the winds were, but they were like 40, 50 miles. When we were hitting those curves right next to where the mountain is, it felt like the wind was gonna push us out. Very dangerous. All right, number 6. Now, these small engines tend to, although easy, they do require maintenance every few thousand miles, which depending on how much you're riding, you might have to like work on it frequently. And like it's easy, but you have to know how to do it. So it's gonna take a little bit of learning. And if you don't know how to do it, you're gonna take it to a mechanic, and that might be costly. But it's still cheaper than a car. But it's a machine. It's an engine. It's gonna require some maintenance. All right, number 7. So these things are not ideal for long distance riding. They're not the most comfortable. So you could take these bad boys on some trips, but you know, maybe like 6-7 hours in, you're gonna start feeling some discomfort. You know, it's not like a nice cozy seat where you're controlling the weather, the air conditioner, none of that cruise control. You're riding that thing with all the elements. So long riding, not ideal. All right, number 8. You could take a passenger with you, but these small engines will probably struggle. They might not even make it up a hill. So it's not like you could like cram like a bunch of people in a car. You know how us Mexicans do it. We like to put like 8, 9 motherfuckers in one car. In a scooter, unfortunately, it'll be very difficult. However, I'm not saying you can't, but because I've gone to other countries where these guys have like a whole family on a scooter like this. So maybe I'm not saying that you can't, because I've seen it done. I'm just saying it's not ideal. And at most, these scooters can probably fit like 2 people. At most, that's it. Anything else, then you're doing it at your own risk. So just keep that in mind. You have a scooter, it's cool and all, but you can only take 1 person max. All right, here's number 9. Because scooters are so small and so quiet, they're very hard to be spotted and heard in traffic. So if you're driving into traffic, you have to assume that no one sees you. But more times than not, these cars do not see you coming, they don't hear you coming, and that could make it dangerous because they could come out right in front of you, crash into you, turn into you. I had this Asian lady just did an illegal U-turn and just smashed right into me. She did not see me at all. So that's one thing you have to keep in mind. When you got these small scooters, you're not gonna be very visible. So yeah, you gotta ride around like you're invincible, because that's the reality of it. These are like most of the times that I drive, I just assume that they don't see me, and you have to behave accordingly. All right, here's number 10. Now this was gonna vary from state to state, but here in California, you most definitely need a motorcycle's license. A lot of people say that you don't. That's because they're from other states, and in some states are more lenient. They really don't care. If it's 50cc and under, they're like, go ahead, drive the thing. You don't even have to register it. But keep in mind that these scooters are going to require registration, a motorcycle license in most cases, and what's the other one? Insurance. Registration, license, insurance. So it's, you would think it's just a scooter. Why can't I just go ride this thing? No, in a lot of states they want you to register like a normal car, pay registration, get insurance on it. So just keep in that mind when you're trying to get yourself a 2-wheel scooter. All right, here's one. Here's number 11. This one's here's one thing that just happened to me. Maybe not to you. This could be different for everybody. But once you start driving these things and start weaving in and out of traffic, lane splitting, everywhere you gotta go, it's always the same time. Traffic doesn't really matter because you're gonna be able to maneuver through all these vehicles, and it just feels so fun. It feels so good. But what that's going to do is this gonna ruin the experience of driving a car. Because once you get back into a car, you feel like you're just enraged. You're upset. You're wondering why you did it for so long. Why are you driving a car and stuck in traffic? You're paying 3 times, 4 times as much as a scooter, but you're spending 10 times more stuck in traffic. And it's a hassle finding parking. Like, you start thinking of all the downsides to a vehicle, and you just don't want to drive anymore. So if you have a nice car, or you put a lot of money into a car, and you start driving a scooter, you're gonna stop using that car more and more and more, and you're gonna start driving your scooter more. So keep that in mind, man. You might end up hate driving after you ride a scooter for long enough. I don't like driving. I'm about to sell my car. I don't need it. I really don't. I'm gonna sell my thing for another motorcycle. Anyway, I'm supposed to be talking shit about scooters, not talking good about them. But anyway, it's gonna ruin it for you for a car, I think. Here's reason number 12. I kind of out of ideas after this one, but if you're thinking about buying a scooter, you have to consider theft. Scooters are very lightweight. They're small. They're easy to steal. Someone could just come with a truck, pick that thing up, throw it in the back, and bounce. So if you're gonna get a scooter, make sure that you have secure parking. Think of this: out of sight, out of mind. Make sure if you have somewhere, if you get one of these, make sure you park it somewhere safe. But if you don't have anywhere to park it, and you're gonna leave it out in the street, and you live in a bad neighborhood or not the greatest, just know that give it a few weeks, it'll be gone. Because people plan this, they see the scooter there every day, they're gonna be like, yep, all right, Carlos, we're gonna come here on Tuesday, 2 in the morning, pick it up in the truck, and bounce. Keep that in mind, think about it. These things get stolen more often now. I see a lot of these on the encampments and the homeless encampments. I see like a bunch of bikes. It used to be just bikes. Now I'm starting to see more scooters being scrapped down to the frame. So yeah, these things get stolen, man, unfortunately. Anyway, that's my list. Those are my things that why you shouldn't have a scooter. Little short list. Let me know what you guys think. And let me know if I missed anything out, any other cons that there is to owning a scooter. And if you guys want to see like why you should own a scooter, I'll leave the video in the screen. You guys check that out. I got also 12 things of why you should own a scooter. Anyway, if you guys got some value out of this video, give it a thumbs up. And sub to the channel if y'all want to hear some more free game about food delivery, scooters, adventures, and all the crazy stuff that, we go through as food delivery drivers. I put that all up on video, unedited too, most of it. Anyways, guys, I gotta get back to work. Any feedback, suggestions, rants, whatever, leave it in the comments. I'll catch you guys on the next video. Peace.